Grace and peace. Just tooling around the countryside in an old borrowed truck. So old. Look at this trailer brake system. Can you see that? Crazy. So, Malachi chapter 3, verse 4. If Edom, or the Edomites, God's enemies, if they say, we are shattered, but we will rebuild the ruins, the Lord of hosts says, they may build, but I will tear down, and they will be called the wicked country, and the people with whom the Lord is angry forever. I don't have my mount for my whole camera today. So if they say they're gonna, I believe you have something like that also in Isaiah chapter 9. It's always things like that where they're declaring, you know, we're going to be rebuilt back better. Maybe that's very similar to the Tower of Babel. And you know, there's nothing wrong with building, but it'll remind you of a verse. Some places the scripture says it's written in your law, and the only place you'll find some things seems to be in the Psalms. And it might be only in the Psalms, at least that comes up at the moment, where you find something like, unless the Lord builds the house, the laborers labor in vain. It does not say that they didn't build. It says that they've labored in vain. Don't labor in vain. Know what the Lord is having you build. And make sure that you're allowing yourself to be molded and sanctified, consecrated, set apart, purified, cleansed. Right? That the Lord may plant what He wants. Similarly, if you go to Luke chapter 6, Matthew chapter 5, which is supposed to renditions from Luke and Matthew's perspective of the Sermon on the Mount, and Christ talks about those who build on sand and those who build on rock. And then I'll also remind you that those who built on sand, when the trouble came, that house fell, and great was the fall of it. Great was the fall of it. But the one who built on rock, Christ says, he's like a man who dug deep. Well, digging deep it takes time, and it's work, and it's effort, and it's laborious, it's hard. Sometimes just that act, that work of surrendering to the Lord, it's hard. It takes you to a place you're not familiar with. Right? But he dug deep, and his house was built on rock or a solid foundation. And when the storms and the vehement winds came and all these things, that house stood. That house was unmoved by the troubles. Well, you are the house, right? You're being built up as a house. We together are being built up as stones to be a habitation unto the Lord. You see, God doesn't dwell in houses made with hands, but in the hearts of men. So, tie it back to the other one. unless the Lord builds the house, the laborers have labored in vain. And then there are those in Jeremiah, you know, God is the God who raises up and brings down and plucks up and overthrows that he might